just got laid off. Did not see that coming. I was not the only one in the office who just got let go of. We were told like they need to look into the future and protect whatever the hell. As I'm going through my paperwork that they gave me, I read something that caught my attention. So it reads, "The purpose of this letter is to advise you of the difficult decision to reform our business unit as a result of the current economic challenges and the need to streamline our operations, taking into consideration tariffs imposed and decreased customer spending."
Well, I officially have been affected by the tariffs, and I'm super upset about it. So about a year ago, I got a job as a content creator on a retainer fee for a sock brand that I absolutely love. I always did really good work for them. So about 2 months ago, they asked me to be a content creator coach. So I was getting paid a flat fee to post 15 to 20 videos a month and coach the women in our group to sell the socks better. Just last week, I put like a little memo together of like everything I've done that has helped my TikTok shop videos go viral and do well. Just today, we got an email that they're no longer having this program in place. So I will be losing somewhere between $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And I don't want to hear content creation is not a job, blah, 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 blah. I work 2 5.
My husband just got an email saying that he lost his job because of the tariffs. He's a cargo pilot, and we voted for the lady. We didn't vote for this.
I feel like the past 24 hours has just been a complete nightmare. 104% on imports coming from China. 104%. And that means my small business that I put everything into is done. I quit my corporate job about a year and a half ago to chase my dreams.
Like my one friend's husband, who just lost his job as a civilian contractor for the DoD thanks to Trump. His job was literally to make sure that America stays safe. How about my friends who are here on H-1B visas who are terrified they won't get renewed? How about my other friends who own or work for small businesses that the tariffs are going to take out of business? I hate to break this to you, but China actually creates jobs in this country.
My husband just got an email saying that he lost his job because of the tariffs. He's a cargo pilot, and we voted for the lady. We didn't vote for this. This is so uncool. It's like, what are they trying to do? Like, what is happening? I'm sorry that happened, babe. Are you alright?
It's alright. I guess I can
He'll look for another
get
job.
a truck driver job or something.
The pilot.
Guys, what happens when you lose your job just because of tariffs? You know, like, tell me. I just want you guys to understand me. Like, what happens when policies meant to protect American jobs end up destroying them instead? Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Awaken Africa, and today I'm here and we are going to break down what's happening in the real world, consequences of politics, economics, everything in between. And today's episode is going to hit hard because we are diving into a subject that's not just about headlines. It's real lives, real families, and of course real pain. So probably you may have heard about the tariffs imposed in the names of protecting American industries, but what you probably haven't seen are the truck drivers who can't afford gas anymore, the small business owners shutting down because costs have doubled up overnight, or the families that supported these policies only to end up unemployed, broke, and feel betrayed. Guys, these ain't just isolated stories. From Michigan's steel plant to California's ports and even your local Walmart, the impact is spreading like wildfire. Jobs lost, prices soaring high, shelves empty. It's like watching the economic unravel one policy at a time. So guys, let's track to what everyday Americans are saying, from regretful Trump voters to business owners pushed to the edge. Because what is this? This is bigger than politics. This is economic survival. Guys, let's get into these videos. I'll be back with my further analysis But before that, kindly, if this is your very first time watching me, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, turn on post notifications, and don't forget to tell me what you think in the comments. So most definitely leave a reply. I'll be back.
I'm home at 11:47, which is unusual. I'm usually home by 4 after I pick up my daughter. I just got laid off. Did not see that coming. I was not the only one in the office who just got let go of. We were told like they need to look into the future and protect whatever the hell. As I'm going through my paperwork that they gave me, I read something that caught my attention. So it reads, "The purpose of this letter is to advise you of the difficult decision to reform our business unit as a result of the current economic challenges and the need to streamline our operations, taking into consideration tariffs imposed and decreased customer spending." So I just lost my job thanks to Trump's tariffs. So that's fucking awesome. Working with a company that is overseas affects everybody who works with companies overseas here. So myself and my other colleague are now unemployed because of that. So anybody that voted for this person to put him in power, you can go fuck yourself right up wherever you like. Anybody that voted for this person is not a friend, is not a colleague, is nothing. They are garbage, absolute trash, and they really pretty much deserve the worst. Now I have to apply for unemployment and hopefully find a job. We have a wedding in about 3 weeks, so that's awesome. Thankfully it's paid, but I was counting on some money, So it's just really shitty to sit here to find out that I was fired because of Donald Trump, because of his fucking tariffs. Not because I'm a shitty worker, because he's a horrible fucking president, a horrible fucking person. And I'm at a loss. A complete fucking loss. So with that being said, we'll just finish this unemployment application and start looking for a new job. Cheers.
So Donald Trump came out and said that the American people are going to struggle financially and economically because of his tariff strategy. It's pretty apparent that he has been firing federal workers of the government, which brings the employment rate up. It is also very apparent that the ports of Seattle, Washington, New York, Boston are all empty, which means that our shelves in our stores are going to be empty. So at least we know that he's keeping one of his campaign promises.
The WTO, the World Trade Organization, is expecting the amount of trade between the United States and China to be slashed by 80%. Then what does this mean for the nation's ports? The top two are right here. And now the director of the Port of Los Angeles says, as you're about to hear, the shipments from China have stopped.
Arrivals will drop by 35%. As essentially all shipments out of China from major retailers and manufacturers has ceased, and cargo coming out of Southeast Asia locations is much softer than normal with the tariffs now in place.
The Port of LA's executive director, Gene Soroka, explaining while the tariff talk seems to change hourly, For now, a 145% tariff on China will have an impact.
That simply means that if you're buying a product from China, it costs 2.5 times more than it did last month.
The twin ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, the nation's second busiest, are the drivers of the Southern California economy. This week, the Los Angeles County Economic Development Corporation predicting the trickle-down effects of the tariffs that now threaten $500 billion in revenue for our region and put 2 million workers at risk.
With decreased economic activity comes decreased ability to meet payroll.
The CEO of the Trucking Association says truck drivers will be among those impacted.
There's just, unfortunately, outside pressures that is going to cause folks to probably lose their jobs.
Meantime, Soroka says, let's just keep the cargo.
I feel like the past 24 hours has just been a complete nightmare. 104% on imports coming from China. 104%. And that means my small business that I put everything into is fucking done. I quit my corporate job about a year and a half ago to chase my dreams. I designed and launched a kids fitness brand, and it was going great. I paid fair wages. I built relationships. And then overnight, the cost just more than doubled. My margins were gone. You know, my business doesn't pay for a yacht or a private jet. It pays for our daughter's swim classes. It covers groceries. It helps with babysitters for date nights. This isn't just numbers on a policy sheet. It's real people, real jobs, real families. And now I'm back at square one. So wish me luck.
I know you told me you voted for President Trump. What were you hoping that he would do?
I was hoping he would did something that made sense regarding the economy, made some kind of progress in bettering, you know, the benefits of being a veteran. But I mean, it just seemed like he actually cared about doing what was best for the country, but now it just feels like all about me, Donald Trump, not, you know, the guy out there working in the trenches trying to make ends meet, trying to pay a mortgage, trying to pay the bills. You know, it goes against everything I expected when, you know, I voted for him.
So you're not satisfied with what you see?
No. And it doesn't even have to do with anything about me getting fired. I mean, if I had gotten fired as part of the, you know, government, cutting government spending, I would have been fine with that. I can accept that. But he's not delivering on anything he said he was going to do. So what's your real game plan? You know, it doesn't make sense to me.
There are some things that he promised to do that he has put in place. I mean, there are executive orders that he's done, that he said that he was going to do. You don't feel like he's lived up to those promises?
I mean, where are the results? I mean, seriously, prices are still going up. We're now in the middle of a tariff war with a bunch of countries that used to be our steadfast allies. I mean, how do you make an enemy of Canada? You know, they're right next to us, and they've been one of our premier allies and commerce partners for, I mean, seriously, like what, centuries now?
And he did say that he was going to put tariffs in place. Did you just not think that they would be implemented in this particular way?
I didn't think they were going to be put in play in a juvenile way. I mean, where was the attempt to actually talk to the heads of these other countries like, hey, you know, I feel you have unfair tariffs against our products. I'd like to talk about it first. And if we can't work out some kind of resolution, then I feel to protect our people, we need to implement this kind of tariff. There was no attempt at even talking to the other countries.
I did vote for Trump. and now I will deal with the aftermath of the tariffs. I compared 2024 first quarter to 2025 first quarter. I am down 70%. I'm not willing to say that that's due to the decisions of the administration yet, because my business does run in cycles. When it comes to the items that I import directly from China, like the pens, pencils, coffee mugs, keychains, calculators, that's all been affected immediately. I also had a quote for rubber ducks that I was working on, 5,000 rubber ducks. And my unit cost went from below 30 cents to just below 50 cents overnight. Consequently, that order of ducks is on hold. I also have 10,000 poker chips on hold. I have 2,000 hats on hold. This is all merchandise I could be selling right now. Yes, I do have some investments that are down, which is affecting me on the personal side. Now we're not sure which direction we want to go.
Well, I officially have been affected by the tariffs, and I'm super upset about it. So about a year ago, I got a job as a content creator on a retainer fee for a sock brand that I absolutely love. I always did really good work for them. So about 2 months ago, they asked me to be a content creator coach. So I was getting paid a flat fee to post 15 to 20 videos a month and coach the women in our group to sell the socks better. Just last week, I put like a little memo together of like everything I've done that has helped my TikTok shop videos go viral and do well. Just today, we got an email that they're no longer having this program in place. So I will be losing somewhere between $1,000 to $2,000 a month. And I don't want to hear content creation is not a job, blah, 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 blah. I worked 2 fucking years to get this job. I worked 2 years to be good at content creation and get this job. I care about this job. I show up for this job. And I like this job. I've also said I wasn't as busy at my salon. So that means that this job was really supplementing our income. And just like that, it's gone. I definitely go back and forth with my feelings for those who voted for Trump, because a lot of people I love voted for him. And I do think there's a difference between like MAGA Trump people and just Republicans that voted for him. But this is what voting for him did. It's putting tariffs on these products that are coming from China. And now someone like me is losing a retainer fee job. And it totally sucks. But I know there's highs and lows in content creation, so I'm gonna get over it, and maybe I'll find another type of retainer job, or maybe I'll do better on TikTok shop, or maybe I'll start taking surveys again. But I'll make the income up somewhere because I have to.
Am I the only one that these tariffs are really starting to scare? Because most people don't really understand what tariffs are and how they're going to impact them. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who voted for a specific person, and he didn't understand tariffs at all. And he kept saying, oh, well, they won't affect me because I'm just going to buy American-made products. What he didn't understand, which a lot of people don't, is barely anything is made in America entirely. Homes, for example, a lot of the lumber for homes is imported from Canada. It's not American lumber. Nails, glue, things like that are not produced here. They are imported here and built here. The same with most American products. We produce little to nothing. We are a consumer nation. So even if it says made in America or an American made product, very rarely will you see everything made in America. That just doesn't really happen. And a lot of people don't know that. Scary.
Thanks, Trump. Lost my job after 9 years. White collar professional, day and night. Appreciate it. I studied day and night the little child's song, My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean, My Bonnie Lies Over the Sea. And I was trying to figure out with me and my team at my job why a guy would throw his wife out into the ocean. Trump and his administration said, that's not relevant, got axed. Thanks, Don.
Whoa. What did Jerome Powell just say?
If the large increases in tariffs that have been announced are sustained, they're likely to generate a rise in inflation, a slowdown in economic growth, and an increase in unemployment.
So Jerome Powell, the guy who's in charge of keeping our economy from falling off a cliff, just warned that Trump's tariffs could raise inflation, slow down the economy, and increase unemployment. So Trump's brilliant plan to make America great again is actually going to make everything more expensive, kill jobs, and tank the economy. Because nothing says economic genius like taxing the stuff that we import, blaming China, and then acting shocked when jobs disappear and prices go up. It's like setting your kitchen on fire, then getting upset because it's hot. You see, this is what happens when you elect a guy who has no idea how tariffs work and thinks that trade wars are easy to win. But hey, at least Trump and Republicans are working hard to make sure billionaires get another tax cut.
1,200 more American jobs gone because of Trump's tariffs on steel and auto imports. That steel is used in American cars, and those cars that are getting imported are now costing $6,000 more per car on average, $5,000 more per American car on average, because even the cars here in the U.S., 50% to 60% of the parts come from abroad. So what happened now is you've got 2 steel plants in North America. I believe we've got Michigan and Minnesota. Each have lost about 600 jobs because specifically the owners say the administration's tariffs on steel and auto imports, demand is down. People aren't buying cars, and they also can't afford the steel. So that now what's happening? Demand's going. They don't have that much money. They fire people. I had said this was going to happen. Trump's tariffs are taxes. They're taxes on goods that come into the U.S. They are paid by American citizens, whether it's American companies or American consumers or both. But these companies that are having to pay the tax can no longer afford it, and they're shutting down their plants as a result. Guys, this is dangerous stuff. It's going to increase unemployment. It's going to increase inflation. It's going to hurt the economy overall. And Trump's not stopping. He's announcing even bigger tariffs in 2 days.
All this time, he was never talking to you.
We're making a fortune with tariffs. $2 billion a day. Do you believe it? I was told $2 billion a day.
He said that yesterday at a dinner. And then today we find out a video leaks from the White House, and he says,
It's actually an independent person. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. That's not bad, because he's in financials.
because this whole time, he was never talking to you. At his rallies, he'd always say, you're going to have so much money, you won't know what to do with it. But he wasn't talking to you. That $2 billion isn't even going into the government. It's going into one man's pocket. He was never talking to you. How does that feel? Like you were having a conversation with somebody and come to find out the entire time they were talking to the person standing behind you, not actually you. He was literally looking into a camera because he was talking to the billionaires that he was going to make richer. And now he has these billionaires in his office bragging about how he made them richer off of your pain and suffering. You can't feed your kids? Who cares? They're richer. You can't send your kids to school? Who cares? They're richer. Your lights can't stay on? Who cares? They're richer. They don't care. He's literally bragging about making $2 billion in one day because of these tariffs, but then has made it very clear that these tariffs and this cycle up and down is never going to end because he's constantly making money.
Well, folks, let me break it down for you. 20,000 hardworking Americans, they just lost their jobs. Not because of automation, not because of competition, but because of Donald Trump's reckless, job-killing tariffs. UPS, one of the largest employers in the country, is slashing its workforce because Trump slapped 145% tax on imports from China, tanking small businesses and choking our economy. That's not America first. That's America fired. Trump's economic chaos has already cut 12,000 jobs last year and now 20,000 more, many of them union jobs, Teamsters, families who depend on those paychecks. This isn't strength, it's fucking sabotage. And while Trump plays economic roulette, real people are paying the price. And I'll tell you this, we need leaders who put workers first, not wannabe strongmen who blow up the economy for political stunts. Vote Democrat, vote for sanity, vote for jobs. Let's send a message. We don't work for Trump, we work for the American people. Are you ready to fight back? My name is Doug Hune, and I'm a Democrat congressional candidate in California's 3rd District. Please share this video, follow me, and donate to my congressional campaign. Link is down below and also my profile. Thank you so much for your support.
Guys, things are a lot worse than I actually thought it was. I just got finished looking at about 6 TikToks, and not just TikTok videos, but videos on other social media platforms about a lot of the American truck drivers, as far as like the semi-truck drivers who do the over-road driving, transporting goods from the ports to our local stores. A lot of the truck drivers are really hurt right now. I watched at least 3 videos where the truck drivers are saying just in this short amount of time with the tariffs going on that they have to actually sell their entire truck. A lot of those people pay at least $255,000 for the semi. So for those of you who don't know what those trucks cost, they cost around 200 and something thousand. One guy said the best offer that he got on the semi truck was $140,000, and the semi truck is actually a 2020, a 2020. That's just shy of 5 years old. So it's real out here when the truck drivers start speaking out about what's going on with them. They're experiencing a huge shortage where it comes to them being contractors, being contracted out to ship stuff for this company and ship stuff for that company. A lot of those guys that's even saying that selling their trucks, they're applying for local jobs where they can drive for a company. And they said a lot of those companies that ships products are actually laying their employees off. Or some of them are even cutting their employees' hours. So it's definitely real. Just seeing the videos like that just let me know just how serious things are, because these are people making videos that lives are really 100% being impacted by the tariffs. We would have never thought in a million years that putting tariffs on China and putting tariffs on these other countries would affect the United States so fast. I would have never thought that the impact would be so fast. The store shelves, a lot of the store shelves really are running empty right now. A lot of people are still using their overstocked products that they ordered from these companies, meaning that shipments are still coming in because they were ordered before the tariffs were implemented. And so they have to honor what's been implemented, basically like a contract type deal. So things are more serious than I thought it was, man. And like, if this is like only the second day of May 2025, I mean, I hate to see what the second and third week of May is going to look like. And we are just in the second day of May, and we're already seeing a humongous catastrophic breakdown of people already talking about losing their jobs when it comes to trucking and transporting food from one state to the next state. The ports are just really, it's bad. What's going on at the ports right now, it's bad. And you know what's really worse? A lot of those jobs are actually union jobs, and the union can't really do anything about that. They can't really override the president of the United States. So I wanted to just bring you guys that, man. That's really some heartbreaking, sad news, man. Thank you guys for watching.
So Whirlpool just announced they're laying off 651 American workers at their plant in Amana, Iowa. That's 651 people. Actual human beings losing their jobs. And what's happening at the same time? Well, Donald Trump just announced a 10% tariff on, get ready for it, the McDonald Islands. You ever heard of the McDonald Islands? Probably not, and that's because nobody lives there. They're in the middle of the ocean near Antarctica. Population 0, unless you count the penguins, of course. So we're now taxing imports from a place inhabited entirely by penguins and seals. And I'm not even making any of this up. This is a real policy. This is a real tariff. This is a peak clown show. And while we're busy taxing penguins, Whirlpool says demand is down, the market is tough, and they're cutting jobs here in the U.S. This is 651 families affected in a town where Whirlpool is one of the biggest employers. But thank God we're cracking down on Antarctica trade, because you know, the penguins were just about to start flooding the market with shady refrigerators. What's next? Sanctions on Santa's workshop? A trade war with Atlantis? I mean, if we're gonna make up enemies, let's go big. This is what happens when you run the government like a reality TV show. You focus on headlines, not humans. Tariffs on penguins, layoffs in Iowa. You can't make this up.
How dare you talk to me about my friend's jobs in relationship to Trump? Like my one friend's husband, who just lost his job as a civilian contractor for the DOD thanks to Trump. His job was literally to make sure that America stays safe. How about my friends who are here on H-1B visas who are terrified they won't get renewed? How about my other friends who own or work for small businesses that the tariffs are going to take out of business? I hate to break this to you, but China actually creates jobs in this country. And I'm not just talking about the exports that China buys. I'm also talking about the products that China produces that American retailers sell. All down the supply chain here in the United States, we benefit from those Chinese products. So don't come at me and lecture me about losing jobs to China when all of the people that I know who are losing their jobs right now or will lose their jobs are losing them because of Trump and his tariffs.
I picked up a truck driver yesterday here in the Fort Lauderdale metro area from one of the truck stops where they park their trucks, and actually took him home. And so I always talk to all of my riders normally, and so I'm asking him about how's the trucking business, how is it looking, what's going on. And he said it's getting scary, that he was already having trouble booking rides that he normally would do to loads to take from the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area to other parts of the country. Two large ports here. The Port of Miami is super large. Port Everglades, which is Fort Lauderdale, is smaller on the cargo, but still it's a large port when it comes to cargo. And he's saying that he's having trouble picking up loads out of the ports to take to other parts of the country from here. And I said, well, what's going on? And he says, well, it's got to be the tariffs, and that they are importing, receiving fewer containers, fewer goods in the ports, and it is trickling down to the truckers, which means there's less business for the truckers. And so for all of my truckers out there, I'm interested to hear what you're seeing. I'm interested to hear what you're experiencing right now. And, you know, I won't ask who you voted for, but I can guess, you know, you vote however you want to vote. But I'm sure this is not something that you voted for. You did not expect a trade war that would impact your trucking business and you to be able to have business to be able to feed yourself and your family. But it is impacting you. This is going to impact the amount of goods that we're going to see in stores. It's going to impact stores' abilities to sell, which is going to impact the number of people they're going to need to keep as employees in those stores or the hours that you have. Expect further cuts as this continues to start trickling down through all of the economy in the United States, and it's going to slow things down. Expect for those things we do see in the stores, so those prices to go up. So expect inflation to go up, expect job losses to increase, expect fewer hours if you don't lose your job, and those in the trucking business are becoming concerned that they aren't going to have adequate business that they need to do to pay their bills, to pay their truck fees, their loans, whatever they've got. Those trucks aren't cheap to run and or to buy or to purchase, and it's trickling through everywhere. So just another little anecdote. And, you know, and if you read, I read another article today in the LA Times, truckers are desperate in Los Angeles because the same thing, the Port of Los Angeles is slowing down and business is hard to find. So thank you, Donald Trump, for crashing the economy. And it's coming. This crash is coming. You can say, I'm just scaremongering or whatever. Watch what happens. Watch how it slows down. Donald Trump brought us into a recession before. Donald Trump is bringing us to a recession now. And he goes, oh, it'll be okay. We'll be great later. Donald Trump, you don't suffer like the rest of us. You don't live week to week or month to month, paycheck to paycheck, where people need to make a certain income to pay their bills. You just file bankruptcy and don't pay others. There you have it. Love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, and my burned out light bulbs. What do you all think? And if you're a trucker, love to hear your experience and what you see and what you think is going to happen right now.
Okay, guys, what I can say is that this is just heartbreaking because no one starts a business and then they expect like 104% tariffs overnight. Like, tariffs are just taxes on imports. For those who don't know, these are taxes on imports. And who pays taxes? We do. We the people, we pay taxes, right? And not the people. So Americans are the ones who are paying these taxes, not the Chinese people. So a lot of people thought that Made in America will protect them. Probably these pro-Trump people. But even if American-made cars, even American-made cars need imported parts, no one is safe. Because you might be saying that, no, I will only consume Made in America, but do you know that some of these parts of these cars, some of these packaging materials, some of these raw materials, they don't come from America. They're being imported. And if they're being imported, then be rest assured that it's going to dawn on you. It's going to happen. Tariffs are going to happen to you. So here's the bitter truth, guys. These tariffs didn't create jobs. They killed them. Like, if a factory is creating or is manufacturing some products, right? The raw materials for this factory, they're being sourced out of America, let's say Canada or China, right? And then there is this the whole tariffs thing, this trade wars, So when this happens, when these factory owners, these business people, they cannot afford to bring these raw materials, definitely these factories are going to die and jobs are going to be killed. So when I say tariffs didn't create jobs, but they killed them, that's a fact. That's the truth. They didn't protect the economy. They choked it, and they weren't even using a clever strategy. They were just reckless, like something unplanned. People are waking up, imposing tariffs on each other, and tragically, real for millions. It became this was something tragic for millions and millions of Americans. So from 12,000, now these are facts, from 12,000 lost jobs last year to 20,000 more this year in 2025. That's not a policy win. That's an economic crisis. Even Jerome Powell, head of the Fed, warned the US inflation, job loss, and a slowdown were coming, and they are here. They are here with you guys. So, and to those people who believed that this was the way to make America great again, you are not alone. People are waking up. This is about left versus right anymore. This is all about facts, families, and futures, right? So, guys, up to this juncture, we ain't just talking about politics, but I want us to be real with ourselves. And I want us to see that if these policies that the president is imposing, he's trying to come up, and these tariffs that he's trying to impose on other countries, like they're not working. You guys have the mandate, like you can just say, stand up and just speak up. The truth doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be heard. So guys, thank you for watching, and if you found this video to be insightful and eye-opening, then like, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments. So most definitely I'll ask you to leave a comment, subscribe, hit the like button, share this message with the brother and sister, and everything is going to be all right. It's Awaken Africa. I've been your host, Bemu. Peace out.